So for us, I guess that our problems started when our cars got lower and lower. You know, with our competition racing, we need the cars to obviously be well balanced and be, you know, low center of gravity. And also at the same time, we want them to look good and have, you know, an essence of style. With this is, you know, big body kits, big wheels, low to the ground. You know, we want the look of the cars to be like amazing. However, when it gets to the workshop, that presents all sorts of problems, especially when it comes to working on them. And we had 2 lifts here at the workshop before that just made life very difficult for us in the workshop. To get them on the ramp, it nearly took us half an hour to get the cars essentially on the lifts, because we'd have to, you know, essentially line the cars up, push them over the hump that was in the middle, and then we'd have to get the cars up on go jacks once they're in position, and then we'd have to get the arms under, and sometimes we'd even have to sort of get a jack out, jack the car up a little bit, get the go jacks out, then put the arms underneath, and then get the arms in the right positions, and then we could lift the cars up, and then get the front go jacks out the way. So that whole process, every time we wanted to work on the car, was getting more and more frustrating, and it was taking up valuable time in the workshop, you know, because at the end of the day, even in our workshop, time is money, and you know, there's only so much time that we all have in our working day every day, and we have a huge amount of work to try and get done in a very small period of time. So it just kind of made sense with our partnership with Snap-on that we discuss how we can move forward and how our lives are going to become easier in the workshop. You know, obviously we have all these fantastic tools and all the fantastic equipment that they give us. The next logical stage was to speak about ramps. So step 1 was the technical representative visiting us here in the workshop. He came and discussed all the options available for all of the lifts that Snap-on has available. As part of the technical representative visit, we obviously had done a little bit of research into which lifts we wanted to go for. And having a 5-ton Mercedes Sprinter race van, I assumed that we wanted a 5-ton lift. But when the technical representative came out and saw us, we went through all the options. You know, we went through all the vehicles that are going to be on the ramps, including the race cars, the Navara, the van. He quickly realised that we don't actually need a 5-ton lift. We'd be much better off with a 4-ton lift, because that would give us a much better scope for all the vehicles. So in the end, we've gone with a Clearfloor 4-ton pair of 4-ton lifts for the workshop, and that will make sure that we can essentially work on everything we have, so that we can stay on top of all of the servicing with all the vehicles. He also made us aware of, you know, what was needed from our electrician. We did a test drill as well to make sure that the foundations were secure enough, deep enough to support the ramps that we wanted. He also let us know that, you know, if that wasn't the case, that they could support us with any groundworks needed for the installation for the lifts. But we were lucky in our case that the foundations that we have here in the workshop are more than adequate for the lifts that we wanted. So we got lucky in that respect. And then, yeah, a couple of weeks later, the lifts arrived, and we had these 2 absolutely fantastic looking ramps laid out on the floor, ready for the installation team to come in. So the next step was the installation team came out to us here in the workshop to do the installation. It was amazing to know that they are also GA accredited, so that gave us some reassurance in the workshop that they knew exactly what they were doing. We were lucky in the sense that we could just leave them to it. We literally went and worked in the other half of the workshop, and it was just amazing to kind of having a little look, seeing how they were getting on, and they took care of everything. It roughly took about a day per lift to get up, which baffled me, because, you know, it just looked like there was a huge amount of work that needed to go in to get the lifts up, but they had it done in essentially what felt like no time at all. After day 1, we pretty much had a working ramp ready to go that we could have used, but, you know, we waited until the end of day 2, where we were fortunate enough that the team gave us a full walk around, you know, explaining all the functions of the lifts and how to look after them, how to maintain them, how to operate them correctly, anything to sort of, you know, keep an eye on as the lifts, you know, go through their lives. We couldn't have been happier with the install. You know, the guys literally took care of everything. They even literally swept and mopped the floor as they were leaving, which was incredible. Okay, so we're now 8 weeks on from having our ramps installed here in the workshop, and life is a lot easier. We don't have that half-an-hour struggle now to get the cars up on the ramps. We don't have that 20-minute struggle of getting the cars back off the ramps, putting them back on go jacks, moving them off the ramp. You know, having the Clearfloor system with the lifts now just makes life so much easier. It just means one of us can essentially back the car on the ramp, get the legs under, get the car up in the air, and get working on it, which just saves us so much time, so much hassle. It's not like a team effort now to try and get a car on and off the ramp, which means we've kind of like almost like streamlined our, you know, working day a little bit, trying to get the cars in and out of the workshop nice and quickly in between race events. And you know, we've been using them now over the last 8 weeks, and it just feels like a whole different workshop almost with the new ramps.